On this Minute of the Apes, I automatically delete any Facebook friend requests from sexy women with men's names.
They greenlit the sequel without a story in mind. They just wanted to equal an unexpected gold mine. He said, oh no, as Heston said, I got to go. These are just some of the facts you ought to know as we go. Beneath the Minute of the Apes. Beneath the Minute of the Apes. Beneath the Minute of the Apes.
Hello and welcome to Minute of the Apes, the daily podcast where we break down every minute of the Planet of the Apes movies 1 minute at a time. As always, I'm Todd. I've got Richard and Sean with me. Happy Wednesday.
No, we've had some good discussions.
Hump day.
It has been one of those weeks already, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been...
Wait,
This
yes.
is the week.
Yes,
Wait
it has.
for it,
So
wait for it.
we're up to minute 28 in
yeah.
this lovely action-packed film. Sean, why don't you tell us what's going on?
All right, we're going to start minute 28 with Zero telling Brent to just relax. Not Frankie relax, but Frankie didn't tell her. Just relax.
Don't do it.
Uh-huh. And it ends with Zero saying that Cornelius hit me.
Hit me.
Hit me!
Let's take a listen to this clip.
Just relax. Among other things, I'm a trained vet.
Oh, great. Yeah. Go on. Taylor was riding with Nova here, between the lake and the sea.
Yes, they were heading deep into the territory we call the...
Yes, I know the Forbidden Zone.
Who told you that?
Your glorious leader back there.
Quick! Cornelius, open the door.
Put the things away.
Open it!
Oh, Dr. Zayas, how nice. We were just about to have something to eat.
Not until I taught some sense to that headstrong wife of yours. Where is she?
Good day, Dr. says.
Good heavens, has there been an accident?
Cornelius hit me.
As of minute 28, we got 3 living humans, 4 dead humans, 1 dead ape, a shrewdness of apes, and a gaggle of humans. All right, so real quick, I know we need to speed some character development up, but Brent is taking all this in really good stride. The fact that they know who Taylor is, the fact that they're treating his wounds, the fact that they're giving maps and food and everything to him. He had just like, hey guys, you apes know how to talk? I came out of your pantry. What all can you give me? What all information
Yeah,
can
he's
you
kind
give me?
of-
Who's
he's-
Taylor? Who's Brent? Who's
He's
food,
kind of a
food,
greedy
food?
Gus, isn't he?
Yeah.
But to my point previously, when Brent shrieked and said, "What's the damn stuff you're using?" and there's that pause, you would know if I told you just relax. Among other things, I'm a trained vet. I honestly thought that was meant to be a joke. Like that was meant to, oh, ha, 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 as opposed to,
Okay.
I felt like that entire moment was just a setup that
Say that again, and I'm sorry to reiterate, but I'm trying now to think of it as a joke.
Read the script real quick.
Say that, whatever's in the script, so I know what you're talking about.
Brent says, shrieks in the previous minute, "What's that damn stuff you're using?"
Mm-hmm.
And Zero goes, "You would know if I told you, relax. Among other things, I'm a trained vet." I thought it was
So
supposed to be a attempted
he's
joke.
the animal, so calm down. I'm a vet.
Yeah.
I know how to take care of you. Yeah,
I
can
think
see-
that was meant for a joke.
I
Yeah,
think
I
you're
think you're right.
probably right, and I think it
And
completely
just talking
fell
about this,
And
flat.
I think it
and
hit
just talking
correctly.
about,
Yeah.
just talking about this minute.
Yeah.
I think that's what she's doing. Is
Yeah,
making a joke.
that landed
Yeah.
exactly where we're supposed to.
You-
And
So-
the turtle.
So we get into this, and at least in this minute, there's a bit of tension because we begin to talk about Ursus. We begin to
Yeah.
hear about what, that he's pushing an agenda.
About the Forbidden Zone.
So finally something is coming up that is propelling a new story,
Yeah.
but we have no information. Is there something that has specifically been stated that is pushing Ursus to this point? Because I don't think in this script, in this film, it's completely been outlined. Are we to take the events from the last film and that he somehow knows about this and the threat of it?
I think if it's from previous minutes is just about him saying that
In the
they're
Forbidden
losing
Zone.
food,
Yeah.
and they need to expand into the Forbidden Zone to find out what's going on there and get more food. I think it's
I think this. No, we
Go ahead.
we're staying in this minute.
yeah.
So we're staying in this
We
minute.
can go to
I don't
previous,
think. I don't think
not
we're. I don't
future.
think we're given too terribly much. We get the moment where Cornelius is trying to show where Taylor and Nova went. They went through a gap between this lake and the sea. They were heading deep into the territory we call, and Brent kind of interrupts, says, yes, I know the Forbidden Zone. Kind of a revelatory moment where he's saying, I know some of these things. And you're like, who told you that? And he said, Brent's like your glorious leader back there.
And that's actually half of what I guess I can see.
What are you trying to go with that? Like,
He's just trying to.
I'm trying to piece it together because Brent and I can see why he thinks Ursus is the leader because Ursus was leading the rally.
Right.
I just find it odd. It's almost like they're expecting us as audience to put together this whole pressure from Ursus. It seems very unwarranted. It seems hollow. It's all of this, even the surroundings that have him in this room to me don't ring true. I'm trying to find out what the threat of this movie is. At 30 minutes in, I should know.
Yeah.
Should I not?
Well, we know that there's a Forbidden Zone because he's heard Ursus yelling about it, but besides that, excuse me, the impetus is because they've been yelling about it in the first 30 minutes. That's why we have to go there because we've been told we have to go there because we have to go there.
I said to you guys, I said to Sean quickly that I took my daughter to see A Quiet Place, and when you eventually see that, you'll see that within, besides the fact that they pepper without, have you seen it, Richard?
No, I haven't.
That they pepper within it, that you see newspaper clippings and all that, so no one ever tells you what the threat is, but you're able as an audience member to put the threat together, and then at the 30-minute mark, or not even the 30-minute mark, pretty early on, I understand the threat. This film, I don't understand what the threat is.
Because you can run
I don't
away
even
from
understand.
apes and gorillas anytime you want.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, at this moment, all we're really given is the fact that he wants to find Taylor, and he reveals that he knows the name that it's called the Forbidden Zone. And he was just told by Zero that they were going into, and he finishes the sentence with the Forbidden Zone. That is all we get from this moment until we get the knock at the door, and it's Zaius.
Yeah, and I get why you're deferring me to that moment.
But we're not there.
But also, I mean, this was just a thought that I had while we're talking through this with Brent, because there's urgency to him, and I guess his urgency is he's on a planet of talking apes. The urgency is he's supposed to find Taylor and nobody else from that crew. But there's no threat pushing him through this, and that's why I'm sitting here thinking, why is
his urgency other than the fact that he just saw
that's his mission.
Horrendous display in the arena. He wants to get out because he just saw. And again, it's fascinating. We talked about Ursus setting up this idea that they were in some type of famine and the humans had destroyed their food or something like that. Mm-hmm. But it's not until you get to the script when you actually see that the humans were being held outside in that cage, that they were potentially being killed. And so I guess Brent knows all that happened because it was in the script, but we don't know that because it was never told to us outside of some type of human threat that we thought Ursus already took care of. And as an astronaut and explorer, should he not be somewhat interested in what he's also seeing too? Should it not be, holy crap, look at that, talking monkeys? Should he not revere the moment of monkeys? Okay, so we put ourselves in a strange situation. An unusual planet. We're astronauts. We land somewhere. Mm-hmm. I'd be trying to make peace. I'd be trying to communicate. I'd be trying to relate to people. But he did just witness that terrible display where Ursus is talking about humans. And this is nothing but conjecture of it. So now he's afraid. I would get, first off, we never bought into that he could absolutely hear everything Ursus was saying.
And I had that in my notes here, too.
He could hear all that stuff, yeah.
He knows about the Forbidden Zone because of the gorilla. Man, was he loud or were they just really close to him?
And it sure doesn't, when you're watching that scene, tell you that he's close. What could have worked is what if he brought in a human to his speech and was,
it's like beating him
and doing
like, these are the humans that we have to keep down.
Right.
They are taking our food and stuff like if you saw him.
But that was in the script that didn't get shot.
Yeah, but I'm
to a certain extent that threat of the human. They're outside. Chimps are protesting.
But what he's saying is, what Todd is saying is, if they had actually had a physical human there that they were assaulting and yelling at, then our hero would know that they're talking about humans instead of just a bunch of apes talking to each other about rah, 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 whatever the situation is, depending on how far
I'm
away
pretty
it is.
sure some of that
anything.
hostility was shown in the script at some point and just not filmed.
It's been weeks since we talked about it.
And
so
it has,
yeah.
because just imagine, though, in that scene with Ursus, if he had a human with him, and he would almost be thinking of as a dumb animal. He could take
He's
the
like
hair
like
and pull
grabbing
the hair
or
back.
smacking him around,
and the gorillas go wild, and that gives the
and then you
chimpanzees
see
even
the
more
chimps,
reason
like,
to be
being
revolted.
upset, or the orangutans being disgusted by their treatment of the humans because we're using them for subjects, not physically abusing them.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think whenever I'm doing this, I want to like this movie. Breaking it down minute by minute, I dislike this movie even more than I did before. And I thought that in this moment was whenever it finally hit me with, I'm thinking, what is propelling Brent to run? He's found people that have the information he needs. They know about Taylor. They can, what's pushing him to hate this Planet of the Apes?
It was not shown in the script, but that point where Brent goes, "My God, a city of apes." Intercut closer shots of peripheral activity, guerrilla soldiers brutally herding half-naked humans into wagon cages. So and then the protests outside.
Mm-hmm.
So Brent sees this stuff that he apparently might be reacting to at this moment, but we never saw it as the audience.
Yeah. And again, I know it's a side conversation, but it really did hit me in this moment that I
It's
don't.
one of these things that as we get further away, you'll find more things that you think about earlier in the movie.
And I just don't care about Brent at this point. I don't care about his plight. I don't understand his plight. That's why Nova walks away and basically has her back to him. She doesn't care either. She's bored.
Well, I love the fact that they get the knock on the door and they literally have to pick her up off the floor because she's just down eating food.
And then
I thought that, what is she doing? She reverts back to being a childlike animal and just squatting on the ground.
Yeah, and
Thanks,
I had
Nova.
And maybe that's where the direction for her, why her back was turned to the camera. I mean, they were trying to make her more primal. Yeah.
Could she not be taking chocolate icing from Zira and get her hands like
Frosting.
Stop it.
or
I'm sorry.
icing, or I can't remember which one.
I can't either.
So I did have some notes about that. So as soon as the door knocked, Cornelius runs with his arms by his side like he's a little kid.
Yeah.
Apes will swing their arms when they
Right.
run. He just kept his arms locked down by his side.
That's his simian shuffle.
Yeah.
Is a little.
And then I understand that Zira is cleaning up the medical supplies,
Right.
But they never worry about the map, and it's not like nobody.
Did they not ever put the map
No, the
up?
map is still on the table while they're cleaning up the medical supplies, but
Right.
they don't care about why.
No, he puts the map away.
Really?
Yeah, he puts the map
Oh,
away.
I must miss that then.
Well, what I find very humorous about the knock and then it's hurry up and everything, the window is wide open. Whoever's at that front
just
door
look
could
in the-
hear them. So they're not being, he was so worried before, don't you speak like this, you might be heard. Now they're just chaotically, woo!
Clean up.
It was a chaotic moment, and yes, to your point, this was a really, really awkward Cornelius shuffle.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
It was nothing. There was nothing ape-like about it at all. It was just kind of weird.
Well, Mr. Watson is doing the best he can, obviously, under the situations that he is not Roddy McDowell.
We are down on Mr. Watson, aren't we?
Well, he's given a no-win situation. He really is, because he's this man would go on to essentially be iconic in this role. Roddy McDowell would.
Yeah.
How do you step in when also, I mean, what are you going to do? You don't have a Blu-ray to go home and watch 50 times, and you can have them screen the film for you, but you know.
Yeah, you're just literally having to watch film over and over.
And you're not being allowed to create your own character. You're being told, I'm sure, you
Be
need
Roddy.
to recreate him. Here's some voice. Here's some recordings of his voice. Mimic the inflection. Thankless, completely thankless, and he still sucks no matter what.
yeah.
He's not Roddy.
So we get the knock at the door. We get the putting away of the map. We get the putting away of the medical supplies. Kind of a little panic moment. Everybody shuffled away, and lo and behold, the door is open, and it is Dr. Zaius. Dr. Zaius.
Dr. Zaius.
All right, so
And Cornelius goes, Dr. Zaius, surprise! We were about to have something to eat. Or how nice. We were about to have something to eat. And then Zaius just kind of moves beyond him, just enters the scene because that is what he does.
He's Dr. Zaius.
Right.
He gets to do whatever he wants.
Not before I've talked some sense into that headstrong wife of yours. Where is she?
So is that the first time we've heard wife? We 100%. We've seen the picture in the background, but that's the first time anyone's refer to them as husband or wife.
He said they were engaged in the last movie.
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
In-
yeah.
In this film, this is the first marriage